Greetings, family, New Earth community. The sun is shining, the heart is beaming, and I have now found the tree, which this video is going to commence. Let's get into it. Okay, so as my whole life is dedicated to metaphysics, I'm basically a walking science experiment for creation. And that's really actually what creation is all about, is the creator, the I am, experiencing its creations and really dancing and having fun in its creations, not getting caught up in its creations. I've spoken many times in the past about Leela and Maya and how the ancient, the Vedas and the divine beings over on that side of the pond, which I potentially was on that side of the pond before, I don't know, doesn't matter, I'm here now. They would talk about Leela and Maya, and Leela is the dance, the divine play, and Maya is what we call the illusion. But both are the same thing. Both is the creation or the manifestation of what we create. And how do we create? Well, we create with two things: our thought and our feeling state. So basically we could look at it very simply. I mean, I've taught this with the whiteboard, and I guess every day is a new flavor, but specifically we're coming in hot with the book The Feeling is the Secret, and I'm gonna read a few passages of what I was tapping into this morning. I like to walk and read. I find it really sits. Like, for me to just sit here and read, I would actually rather just like meditate and actually practice. But something about walking, like moving forward and reading, I am an anomaly on the street with the book and walking. I mean, people have been like, how do you walk and read? It just works. Anyways, we're gonna get into it. I'm sipping on the lemon, cayenne pepper, and maple syrup. Big code for you, family: cayenne pepper, one of the greatest herbs. Now that intro is over with, we're going over Neville Goddard, The Feeling is the Secret. Let's begin. So this book is basically one home run after another. If you were a baseball player and you were just hitting home runs every swing, every single line in this book is absolutely miraculous, because it is coming from the consciousness of Neville Goddard, who was a master metaphysics teacher. Shout out, brother Neville. Let's just have a moment of silence here. Okay. Chapter 1 begins the law and its operation. So we're trying to understand the law of creation. I've spoken about this before, and I'm going to speak about it again. He goes to say, the world and all within it is man's conditioned consciousness objectified. Consciousness is the cause as well as the substance of the entire world. So he's really just saying that consciousness is everything. All is consciousness. All is spirit. So it is to consciousness that we must turn if we would discover the secret of creation. So we want to turn our attention to consciousness, which we are, if we want to discover the secret. I was talking about the master key, and in my humble opinion, whoever this my is, I think it's the spirit. Just kidding. that this is the master key to creation. I recently recorded a song and did a whole music video, and the song's called Master Key. Basically, it's all about what this book is about. And it's really about creating within thought and feeling, but I'm gonna dive in a little more of how Neville explains it. Knowledge of the law of consciousness and the method of operating this law. Excuse me. That cayenne will enable you to accomplish all you desire in life. I beg your pardon, did he just say that understanding the knowledge and the method of this law will enable you to accomplish all you desire? Could it be? Armed with a working knowledge of this law, you can build and maintain your ideal world. Consciousness is the one and only reality, not figuratively, but actually. This reality may, for the sake of clarity, be likened unto a stream, which is divided into two parts, the conscious and the subconscious. In order to intelligently operate the law of consciousness, it is necessary to understand the relationship between the conscious and the subconscious. The conscious is personal and selective. The subconscious is impersonal and non-selective. The conscious is the realm of effect. The subconscious is the realm of cause. These two aspects are the male and female divisions of consciousness. The consciousness is male and the subconscious is female. The conscious generates ideas and impresses these ideas on the subconscious. The subconscious receives the idea and gives form and expression to them. So this idea of as within, so without is just like this hermetic principle is raving in this knowledge, because we're going to get into it, but I'm gonna stay on track here. Usually I'll start going on a rampage, but I'm gonna stay focused, and we'll get into as within, so without. By this law, first conceiving an idea and then impressing the idea conceived on the subconscious, all things evolve out of consciousness, and without this sequence, there is not anything made that is made. The conscious impresses the subconscious, while the subconscious expresses all that is impressed upon it. Once again, the conscious impresses the subconscious, while the subconscious expresses all that is impressed upon it. So what we've gathered here so far is we're consciousness, right? The I am, which we are, which is consciousness. It has the conscious and the subconscious. So when we have a conscious thought, which is thoughts that we can see, right? The thoughts that you can think now, we could say those are the conscious ones. So we're conscious of these thoughts. So we can generate a thought, any thought, whatever you can think, as Bob Proctor says. Whatever you can hold in mind, you can hold in your hand. That's profound, because everything then is starting from within and then expressing outwardly. And that's what our each individual bubble of reality really is. And that's beautiful, because in this knowledge, there's no victim. And there's so many people that are playing the role of the victim out there and blaming this, blaming that, blaming this, blaming that for their life. But to understand this is to actually take back all of your power and realize that, whoa, with this knowledge, with this method of impressing with my male aspect in this dual polarized density, impressing onto my subconscious, which is the female, impregnating it with ideas, with thoughts, and then feelings, which is the secret, because then we can create our reality and basically then just enjoy what we've impressed upon our subconscious. So we do that with our thoughts, right? And with our feelings. And I know in the past I've also taught about how, thoughts are what to stay away from, and that is actually true from the context of non-duality and the context of when I'm teaching to come back into the heart and just abide. You just ignore your mind and realize that you are the I am, and then you can just chill. You can be a yogi sitting by a tree in bliss, just like I am right now. But I feel this drive in me to share this good news, and I just don't see the point of creation, of keeping this knowledge to myself. I want to share the good news with all of us, which is why this video is underway. So we know that then if the conscious is basically impregnating the subconscious with thought and feeling, then what we feel is actually the most important aspect of our life, because what we're feeling is the magnetic charge, right? Or the thought being the electric and the feeling being the magnetic. So the electromagnetic field, or what the discourses call the electronic circle, or what science calls the torus field, basically this is what we're creating with, because this body right here, this physicality, is just one expression of one of my bodies. And because we're in this density, we all have these beautiful human bodies to experience this realm of the senses, of the five senses. But those are just the physical senses. There's senses way beyond. We're clairvoyant and telepathic and all of these, what we call these cities or these spiritual powers. These are all actually just normal to our natural state of consciousness, which is knowing that you are the I am. So I'm going to continue reading here. Therefore, through his power to imagine and feel, and his freedom to choose the idea he will entertain, man has control over creation. Control of the subconscious is accomplished through control of your ideas and feelings. So this is what self-mastery is about, or self-control, or self-realization, is becoming the master over your life. No longer being the slave, no longer being the ego mind identity or the electromagnetic interference, as our brother RJ teaches about. We are the scalar wave. We are the non-dual. We are the chi. We are the life force. We are the orgone. We are the prana. We are the torsion. We are the torus. We are the kundalini. We are the shakti. We are the force. We are the power. We are the life. We are the love. We are the light. We are the I am. So all of these synonyms for the fact that we are gods in embryo. In this density, we are gifted. If you are ready to receive these teachings, then you are ready to become a creator and a co-creator of your reality, and to choose constructive thoughts, to choose positive thoughts, to entertain, to give your power, to give your energy to constructive ideas, to ideas that are in resonance with the humans, with the earth, with the animals, with the air, with the water, to come back to nature, to come back to the heart, and to be rid of toxicity, to be rid of, oh, there's beautiful children walking over there, to be rid of this poison which some of these humans are creating, is these toxic environments, these toxic foods. I'm done with that. Be done with that. And the moment we take our energy and our attention and our awareness away from that, we've basically we've stopped giving it life. So the same thing, as within, so without. If you stop giving life to negativity, to negative thoughts, to negative feelings, they'll just disappear. You don't have to do the shadow work. And this is not spiritual bypassing. Yes, feel the emotion when it arises, but that's the accumulation of your past creations, your past thought and feeling. And unless you're given this knowledge, then you won't be able to actually create a new reality. And this is what Dr. Joe Dispenza as well exactly teaches, is impressing upon the subconscious in a state of meditation. When we slow down our brain waves and the conscious and the subconscious become one. This also before sleep, this is another time to do it. So prayer or meditation and sleep. And also too, you could anytime, like as you're going about your day, some of us, I feel like for me, I actually live in a slower brainwave. Like the relaxed state is a more alpha brainwave, and you're getting closer into the subconscious. So you can actually be out and about doing things and be impressing upon your subconscious all day. And something I say to myself, which has been showing itself, is I am the riches of God pouring into my hands and my use. What I've noticed is I've generated the most money that I ever have in the past week of my life. Like effortlessly, it just naturally is happening. It's just happening. And I'm not trying to do it, but it's because I've been impressing and impregnating thoughts and feelings of riches, of wealth, of abundance, of gratitude onto my reality. And now I'm just watching the fruits and experiencing the fruits of this creation. And this is a creation where we're made to create and then to experience the love. But it is important to know that you are already love and start from this place. And also too, I want to share my brother RJ, who teaches a few meditation techniques which are profound. One of them being, pretend you just arrived here, no past, no future. You can't think. You're already free. Because the fact is, you're already whole, free, and complete. That's just the fact. You're already perfect. You'll always be perfect. You as consciousness. You as the I am. Your real self. Not the imagination, the ego mind identity. So it's finding this balance between resting and abiding, knowing you are already free, and then to create from this conscious place. So there's a difference between conscious manifestation and then just manifesting and getting in a loop and then playing the victim and complaining about how terrible your life is. That we could say is unconscious manifestation, and then there's conscious manifestation. So this is very important to understand. Conscious manifestation is consciously invoking feelings of gratitude, of love. And I promise you that the moment you do that, you've already won, because you're already feeling that bliss, that high vibe, that joy. And then you don't really, everything else is then just entertainment. Like whether you're driving a Suzuki or a Ferrari, it's no difference, The Ferrari might be able to go a bit faster and you might get more looks, but honestly, that's just I feel that's just bringing in more attention to you. And do you want attention from unconscious people? No, because that's vampiric energy. That's parasitical energy. You don't want that in your life. You want freedom. You want freedom from projections upon you. And this is how you get free. So, back to the book, is that Neville says here, control of your feeling is all important to a full and happy life. Never entertain an undesirable feeling, nor think sympathetically about wrong in any shape or form. Do not dwell on the imperfection of yourself or others, because there are no others. If you dwell on imperfection and wrongness and problems, you're just creating that for yourself. It's only affecting you in a negative way, in a harmful way. To do so is to impress the subconscious with these limitations. So we want to have expansive, unlimited thoughts. Thoughts of, I am perfect health. I am the riches of God. I am the open door. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the ascension in the light. These are expansive vibrations where we keep our field flowing. We keep that pure, mighty, intelligent I am energy coming into our body, cleansing and purifying our mind, and bringing the expression of this perfection without the human limitation based on programs that aren't even yours. They're just literally what your vessel and your DNA has been programmed with, but we can reprogram, and we can then send out, as Daddy Joe says, broadcast out a new electromagnetic signature into the field, and then magnetically draw that effortlessly, the Wu way, right? The effortless effort back right to us, and oh, there's my manifestation. Could it be that easy? Yes, this is the truth. There is no world outside of you. The world is within your own mind. And self-realization can only be realized when you realize you are already the self that is realized, and you are already enlightened now. And then you create and you bring good, positive vibrations onto whatever realm, whatever planet, whatever density, whatever dimension you're hanging out in. So Neville says that this is the whole law of a full and happy life. Everything else is commentary. Every feeling makes a subconscious impression, and unless it is counteracted by a more powerful feeling of an opposite nature, it must be expressed. So this is the master key to creation: as within, so without. As we think, as we feel, is what we create. Because everything starts from an idea, as we talked about, and then in combination with that feeling, as it's already done, as Neville talks about the law of assumption, or living from the end, then that is like living from that state, that you're already wealthy. If you want to be rich, you have to feel rich. And it's all about the feeling, right? The feeling is the secret, not the thought. The feeling is the secret. Because as I've mentioned before, is you can think all you want, and Dr. Joe talks about it, is the body is it's conditioned, right? The body is basically programmed, and the body is the subconscious mind as well. So it's holding all of these emotions, all of these thoughts that we've thought, and we have to cleanse it. We have to rewire, we have to reprogram. And Dr. Joe talks about how, you know, if you sit the body down and basically just let it go through what it's trying to express, but you just sit it down, let it move through its emotions, let it be, and then you basically, you come out of it on the other end and you come into a joyful state of being. Sorry, I got a little bit distracted by some beings over there. It's wild too, like when you're in this state, you're so sensitive to vibrations. And that's why you want to hang out with people that are living in the divine state, because they're impressing upon you their ideas, their thoughts, their feelings. And I am here to teach freedom. And you can be free. I am here to teach sovereignty. You can be sovereign. But you may have to let a lot go in order to actually be free. And it might be difficult, you know, there might be long-lasting relationships, but you got to see the bigger picture, that your freedom is the most important. No people pleasing. A lot of people will say that, oh, like I'm empathic and, you know, I'm such an empath. And it's like, are you though? Like, free yourself. It's one thing to serve somebody, but you have to be free. And you have to serve from that place where you've put on your oxygen mask first when the plane's going down, and then you can help someone out. Your own self-realization is the greatest service you can render the world. I've realized myself, the I am, and now I am choosing to share the good news with the community, because that's what I'm called to do. I don't feel called to move out to the Himalayas, although I am moving out to the mountains, but it's not the Himalayas. Okay, so we're going to end with a few quotes, and then we'll finish up the video. Okay, so Neville says here that by assuming the feeling that would be yours were you already in possession of your objective, the subconscious is moved to build the exact likeness of your assumption. What I was going to say earlier when I got distracted about Dr. Joe Dispenza is he talks about how the body doesn't know the difference between a real life event and what you're imagining. And how I can exemplify that is if you're, say, thinking a sexual thought and you just hold that thought or that visual of a sexual experience, you will then trigger your energy center that now begins to arouse your genital region, your sacral, and then it will basically get prepared for that sexual experience. But you're sitting in the park. So I want you to really get that, as I said earlier, is the world is within you. There is no outside world. And whatever you impress upon your subconscious with your conscious mind is then what seeds you are planting that must come to be, because this is the essence of creation. This is the master key, thought and feeling, as within, as I think, as I feel, so without, as will be expressed. The masculine principle impregnating the woman, the feminine, that is then going to be that birth, that womb of that idea coming into creation. And this is with anything you want. And this is how you could basically, because this is a video game, like, you could basically just meditate and start to feel abundance. And this is what our meditations are about, is you want to feel that state of your wish fulfilled. If you want health in your life, you want to feel healthy now. You want to feel vital, and you want to have expansive thoughts of, I am vital, I am healthy, I am in perfect health, I am the presence that is giving life force to all of my organs, returning my body back to perfect health, cleansing my body. And when we start from this place, this is the highest place of consciousness, because it is the I am. So when we use the words I am, we're declaring our oneness and our sentience with our Mother, Father, God. So just to end the video, Neville says, your desires are not subconsciously accepted until you assume the feeling of their reality. For only through feeling is an idea subconsciously accepted, and only through this subconscious acceptance is it ever expressed. So only through the feeling. You've got to feel your abundance. You've got to feel your wealth. You've got to feel your health. You've got to feel as if you already have it. And once you feel that, you're no longer in lack. You're no longer in scarcity. You're no longer in imitation. And you are now in the oneness of creation, the truth of yourself. And that's where you will express love. You will express all of these natural traits of the Godhead. And by simply saying, I am, and calling on the I am, as I've taught in prior videos, call it forth. This presence is waiting for you to call on it, to bless your life with anything that you desire, because you are everything. So, as within, so without. As above, so below. As below, so above. As within, so without. As without, so within. The second of the 7 principles of Hermes. A man can receive nothing unless it is given him from heaven. And the kingdom of heaven is within you. Nothing comes from without. All things come from within, from the subconscious. It is impossible for you to see other than the contents of your consciousness. Your world in its every detail is your consciousness objectified. Objective states bear witness of subconscious impressions, and change of impression results in a change of expression. The subconscious accepts as true that which you feel as true, and because creation is the result of subconscious impressions, you, by your feeling, determine creation. You are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe this is the only reason you do not see it. To seek on the outside for that which you do not feel you are is to seek in vain, for we never find that which we want. We find only that which we are. In short, you express and have only that which you are conscious of being or possessing. To him that hath it is given. Denying the evidence of the senses and appropriating the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the way to the realization of you desire. So what Neville's saying is, whatever circumstances in your life is what you have thought and what you have felt in the past. So we can change our reality instantaneously by changing what we think and what we feel, and now starting to plant those positive, those constructive desires into the subconscious, where the feminine principle of life, the female divine goddess, the sacred woman, the subconscious mind, the universal mind, will then bypass duality and work within the realm of eternity and bring what you are feeling into reality. Mastery of self-control of your thoughts and feelings is your highest achievement. However, until perfect self-control is attained, so that in spite of appearances, in spite of what your life looks like now, you feel all that you want to feel. Use sleep and prayer to aid you in realizing your desired states. These are the two gateways into the subconscious. I, with all of my heart, wish nothing but goodness for you, and that you utilize and actually get this book for yourself, The Feeling is the Secret, by Neville Goddard, and start to study this. This is true spirituality. Out of all of my studies of the masters, from Buddhism to Sufism to like all of it, quantum physics, like, it's come to this point that what you feel is who you are. Leaving you in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator.